everybody, and I want to welcome everyone to this episode of the Booze Geek. My name is Chuck, and I am your host. And before I get started, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. And if you like the episode, well, hit that like button too. Give us a big thumbs up, and I'm going to thank you all in advance. But on this episode, well, technically we are still on the road and in the great beer state of Michigan. However, we're not tasting a beer from a Michigan brewery. And the reason being, we are taking a detour. We are going to Wisconsin. Now, I have a beer here that's pretty hard to get outside of Wisconsin. Now, the brewery that we're tasting from, the brewery is New Glarus Brewing, and they are located in New Glarus, Wisconsin. How cute is that, eh? New Glarus, Wisconsin. But anyways, the reason being is, well, New Glarus, they do not distribute outside of the state of Wisconsin. So if you're not from Wisconsin, if you don't live there, it's very hard to come by their beers. But I used my magic, I pulled some strings, I used my connections, and I got a hold of one of their beers. Now, the beer is their flagship beer. Now, this beer is brewed year-round. This beer is extremely popular, and I've heard a lot about it. So what's the beer? Well, the beer is the one, the only, the Spotted Cow. This is it, the Spotted Cow. Well, what is the Spotted Cow? Well, this beer, this is a farmhouse ale. This beer clocks in at 4.8% ABV. And although I do not know the IBU, it is made with Sayez hops. So with all that, I've never had this beer. In fact, I've never seen this beer, but I'm really excited to try it. So let's pop the top on this one. 1, 2, boom, boom. And let's get this review started. Here we go. Woo. No smoke off the top there, no smoke out of the bottle, but let's get a pour. And you know, I'm gonna have a bigger pour just because I can, because I've never had it. So I bet you, maybe, yeah, there we go. Okay, the Spotted Cow. Let's look at that color. I don't know, it doesn't look like a farm, but it is a bright lemony straw, and we have very little foam on top, just some soap suds floating on top here. But let's give this a swirl, and I'm diving in. We're gonna do some cow tipping. We're gonna do some cow tipping, and we're gonna jump into the Spotted Cow. Here we go. Let's give it a nose. Nose number 1. Okay. Well, we are getting some notes of grass, some hay, some slight citrus coming through, and one more quick nose. And it's rounded out by some doughy notes. Okay, now, the moment of truth. I'm swirling and swirling and swirling. I want this beer to open up. Let's give this a sippy sip. I'm diving in. Here we go. I'm doing it. PROST to the Spotted Cow. Light-bodied beer. Yeah, it's teetering. Nah, it's about here on the scale. It's a light-bodied beer. But let's get going on those flavors. What do we got here? Well, I'm going to take another sip, and then I'm going to tell you. Okay, first and foremost, those notes of grass and hay are coming through. They're predominant. But we also have some biscuity notes and just a hint, a really small hint of that citrus is coming through. Not a lot at all. Absolutely not a lot. But let me give this another sip here. Yeah, that's about it on the flavor palette. Now, what would I give this beer on the pint meter? Well, first and foremost, I am going to say this. The beer really drinks like a cream ale, which is interesting. For a farmhouse style ale, it's drinking more like a cream ale. So taking some things to consider, I think on the pint meter, I would give this one more sip. But yeah, on the pint meter, I'm going to give this beer a 7.5. Easy 7.5. I am confident and I am comfortable giving this beer a 7.5. Although I do like it, I have some issues with it. Issue number 1, on the nose, the aromas are extremely light. We are getting that grass and that hay, but that citrus, it's next to nowhere. And I think that the doughy notes are there. Well, they're just, all the aromas are coming out a little thin, number 1. Number 2, flavor palette, same thing. I honestly wish that citrus was brought up a little bit. I wish that was brought up, and I think it would balance out the biscuity tones a little bit more. I think the grass and the hay on the palate are fine. Citrus should be brought up. Absolutely, citrus should be brought up. But even with those gripes, I mean, it's a easy drinking beer. It's a very refreshing beer. So refreshing, I'm gonna take one more sip. I mean, it's got a great idea behind it. It really does. It just a few issues here. And the fact that it does, you know, it is more like a cream ale as opposed to a farmhouse ale. That's not really an issue, but, you know, it is what it is. I didn't name the beer. But anyways, either way, I'm glad I finally got to try it. First time, the Spotted Cow. And I think if you can get this beer, go out and get a six-pack. And with that, I'm going to raise my pint. Well, I'm going to take one more sip first. There we go. And now I'm going to raise my pint. And I want to thank everyone for tuning into this episode. And as always, you can follow me at the websites, which are www.pubsapapinting.com, or the blog, which is www.pubsapapinting.blogspot.com. And with that, now I'm really raising my pint. And we will see you all in the next episode. Cheers, prost, and enjoy!